What if I told you that the cure for anxiety, overthinking, and restlessness has been sitting inside you this whole time? Not in a pill, not in a book, in a glass of water. Stay with me, because this short story might genuinely change the way you think. Nestled between two mountain ranges was a tiny village that most maps didn't bother to include. It was the kind of place where time moved slowly, and that was exactly the point. In this village lived a young man named Elias, 24 years old, sharp-minded and completely exhausted by his own thoughts. From the moment he woke up, his brain was already running, replaying arguments from 3 years ago, rehearsing conversations that hadn't happened yet, worrying about a future he couldn't control, while feeling guilty about a past he couldn't change. He wasn't lazy, he wasn't broken. He just couldn't find the off switch. People around him noticed. He had stopped laughing at things that used to make him laugh. He'd stare at his food without eating. Some nights, sleep just wouldn't come. Then one afternoon, a traveler passing through mentioned something almost in passing. There's an old man who lives up in the eastern hills, used to be one of the most respected minds in the city, helped thousands of people. Now he just lives quietly. But they say if you find him, he'll give you exactly what you need. Elias didn't even finish his dinner that night. He started packing. The road to the eastern hills wasn't kind. It took days. His feet blistered. The weather turned. More than once he thought about turning back. But something kept pulling him forward. That quiet, desperate hope that maybe, just maybe, someone out there had an answer. When he finally arrived, he almost laughed. After all that effort, the long walk, the sore legs, the sleepless nights on the road, the old man was simply sitting on a wooden bench outside his home, eyes closed, completely still, like the world had no power over him whatsoever. Elias approached slowly and said, "Excuse me, I've come a long way. My mind never quiets down. I can't find peace anywhere. Can you help me?" The old man opened one eye, then the other. A small smile formed on his lips. "Peace, you say?" He stood up slowly. "Come, I have something to show you." The old man filled a glass of water. Not halfway, not 3/4, all the way to the very brim. One more drop and it would overflow. He handed it carefully to Elias and said, "Walk from here to the far edge of the village and come back. But don't spill a single drop." Elias looked at the glass, then at the old man, then back at the glass. That's it, that's the wisdom. But he took a breath, steadied his hands and started walking. The village path was narrow and alive with movement. Children darted past. A cart rattled over cobblestones. Someone was arguing loudly near the market stalls. A dog barked, then another. But Elias saw none of it. His entire world had collapsed into one point, the surface of the water in that glass. He walked slowly, deliberately, every step considered. His breathing evened out on its own, not because he was trying to calm down, but because the task simply demanded it. And somehow, his mind went quiet, not silent in a forced way. Quiet the way a room gets when something truly interesting is happening in it. When he returned, water fully intact, not a drop lost, he felt something strange, something he hadn't felt in months. Light. The old man looked at the glass, nodded and asked, "Good, now tell me, did you hear the argument near the market?" "No." "Did you notice the children playing?" "No." "The dog that nearly ran into your path?" Elias blinked. "There was a dog?" The old man sat down and folded his hands. "For those few minutes your mind was not in last year. It was not in next month. It was not rehearsing failure or reliving regret. It was here, completely here, and in that space there was no room for fear, no room for noise, just presence." He looked at Elias steadily. "That quiet you felt, that wasn't something I gave you. That's what your mind feels like when you stop fighting the present moment and actually live in it." Elias stood there for a long moment. He'd traveled across mountains looking for peace in someone else's words, and what he found was something far simpler and far more powerful. Peace isn't a destination. It's not something you earn when life finally calms down. It's available right now, in this breath, in this moment, if you're willing to be fully in it. He thanked the old man. He didn't ask a dozen follow-up questions. He just bowed his head, turned, and began the walk home. The mountains looked different on the way back. Not because they'd changed, but because for the first time in a long time, he was actually seeing them. If this story hit home for you, you're not alone. Most of us are living anywhere but the present moment, and it's quietly draining us. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today. And if you want more stories that make you think differently about life, hit subscribe. Until next time, slow down, stay present, and remember, the peace you're looking for, it's closer than you think.